Hello everybody, and today we're gonna put some trash in the fucking DeLorean and go back in time because 12 years ago I did a video on why I love/hate Oblivion. Overall, I loved Oblivion, but for those of you who didn't watch the video and don't want to waste 14 minutes on this beautiful visage, let me give you a little summary. I absolutely love the game. I played it for thousands of hours, and when the Shivering Isle DLC came out, I lost an entire character. Gone. So that's where the hate part comes from it. But I don't know. I've been trying to figure this out because I want to do this video right away. But I've been trying to figure out for the last couple weeks if this game is so great right now because we've had Skyrim re-released so many times that I'm sick of Skyrim. And it was nice to go back, like roll backwards. And in my brain, I think if they go back to Morrowind and don't fuck with it the way they did with this, it's probably going to be my favorite game of all time. I don't know. I thought about it a lot. I wanted to do this video right away. Obviously, all the shorts and stuff. I was very, very excited for this. Also, if you go back a couple years, I told everybody this was coming. Not only this, a Fallout 3 remaster, which would be the 20th year anniversary, which will be in 3 years for Fallout 3. I heard this, asked someone who may or may not have worked with, currently works at Bethesda. Yeah, and they wouldn't confirm or deny it. Would they? Would they? And now we got Oblivion Remastered. So, I recorded a bunch of clips for this, but I kind of wanted to do almost a frame perfect. Obviously, I got a much nicer TV now, but I still got this. And one of the things that made me excited about when this game came out originally was the exploration, right? And I think I bitched about in Morrowind how if you wanted to fast travel, you had to do a mark and recall. That sucks, especially if you forgot to put a mark and you recalled somewhere and you ended up somewhere you didn't want to be. So this game introduced fast travel just, to each of the cities, which I personally loved. I don't remember the names of towns and shires and all that shit in these games, but I remember Bruma, Skingrad, Leowin, Reville, Coral, Shadenhall. You know what I mean? Imperial City, I guess. I don't like the Imperials. I think that's part of the reason why I had like a strong distaste. I hate the Imperial everything in all of these games. They're all douchebags, and this one takes place, in their primary focus. Like other games do, you have the Land of the Dunmer, and then Skyrim is for the Nords, but I really hate... They're police. They're all police. They're almost all white police. I don't like them. But when I was thinking about this video, I was thinking that I was going to talk for 3.5 minutes and not actually say anything, which I just did. So, like I said, I did this video 12 years ago, and it's largely unchanged. However, it's 12 years ago. This game came out 20 years ago. I got it on launch day. I was an adult. I had my own apartment. I had a job. I could go to a midnight launch and get a game. No problem. And now it's 2025, and I'm literally like 2 lifetimes. I'm on my 3rd lifetime now since this game came out. So it hit different. And the reason I want to preface with that is because I'm not going to talk about technical aspects aside from the game looks prettier. Because, quite honestly, the game looks prettier, but it plays exactly like a Bethesda game, which is awesome because the team who worked on this is not Bethesda. And I have a feeling that with the great reception and response for this, aside if they're already working on Fallout 3, I think we're going to get more. So I don't want to talk about the technical stuff because I don't care. I don't care. Good graphics is not a good game make, right? I've said that. I think I said that in the original video. Plus, there are plenty of other channels that break down technical stuff, and I'm not willing to put in the work to keep up with those people. So I'm hungry. If you if you're here and you're already aware of the Why I Love series, you know it's all about feelings to me, right? This dropped. I started installing it. I went down to my storage. I dug this out. And then this I didn't have to dig out because it's been everywhere. This is obviously how much I love these games. This has been hanging on my wall for about 20 years in the various places I've lived. So, I get the game installed. I boot it up and I'm instantly transported back to 2005. And then I had this weird thing that Dan and I used to talk about on the channel. And the Bouncer was a good reference. I told him the Bouncer was one of the best PS2 looking games. One of the best looking, PS2 games that I had ever seen. And it definitely stands the test of time. I bought Dan a copy of the Bouncer and he came into work the next day and was like, the game looks like shit. So I went and played through it again. And I was like, it really don't look that good. I think I did a video of the Bouncer when that happened. So if you can find that on this channel, that's when that happened. But when the original Oblivion came out, it looked amazing. Obviously, when it came out, it looked amazing. And that's saying something because Bethesda always makes their shit on older tech. Everyone knows that. They don't have the ability to make actual human look like a human. Every one of them looks like a mannequin with a goofy ass face. I don't know. It's the fact that something looks good and is so, I don't know, it was filled out. Like back when Oblivion came out, it looked full. If you look at side-by-side comparisons of just like landscapes of trees and this remake compared to the original, it actually is full. So I think it's crazy that whenever we think about memories of games, especially ones that we behold in our hearts dearly, it's a lot better than we remember because it's a personal attachment we have to it. The weird thing is, I know, I've seen it side by side. I was going to do some side by side shorts, but there's other people that blow me out of the water for that. Or in the water. They can just blow me. But, yeah, it looked real. It looked so real. The world felt real when I was in it in 2005. And then I jumped in this one and I got the same exact feeling knowing that it looked better. Where'd my controller go? Oh no. Oh well. But I got the same exact feeling and I was like, this looks the same. It doesn't look the same. But my brain, it looked exactly the same. And that makes this probably one of the most perfect remasters. To the point where I would call it a remake, but the core of the game isn't changed. And this is the why I love part. I wish that more companies would do exactly this. Not polish up a fucking game that was on PS2 so it still looks like PS2 without the jaggies. I'm looking at you, the thing. Pretty much everything that Night Dive does where they polish up the old graphics. Now, I'm not trashing that. I pretty much buy all of the Night Dive re-releases, especially the FPS ones. And that has its own nostalgic charm. I like that one the way that it is. Whereas a game like Oblivion, they had to make the entire thing look better. Otherwise, why would I not just reinstall, the original one, which I did earlier this year. So, this video was a little hard to do because I can't just tell you why I love it without completely repeating a video that I did 14 years ago, 12 years ago, sorry. Really? 2013? God damn, I'm old. So, I guess I'll abridge the reasons that I love it. I played this one now for a whopping 70 hours. I'm 70 hours in, so I got a couple hours. I'm just learning it. I didn't particularly care for New Vegas that much, and I put 150 hours on it, and then like 10 years later, I went back and put another 250 hours on it, and I ended up liking it. Whereas this one, I went in with 1,000 hours. I had over 1,000 hours in this game. Several characters. I did everything that you could possibly do. I haven't really played anything else since this dropped. I went back, I've already done, and I've been streaming it over on Twitch. I did the Dark Brotherhood. I did the arena, almost done with the Fighters Guild and the Mages Guild. And then I'm going to main quest and then go back over to Shivering Isles. And then Shivering Isles is going to get its own video for this. Because I didn't get to properly talk about Shivering Isles, the first video of these that I did. So, I'm not going to say this is part one, but that's gonna pop up as either why I love Shivering Isles or why I hate Shivering Isles. But I want to make sure I give that the proper time and attention. So 10 minutes in, did I really talk about the game? I don't know. Let's talk about it some more. So, anywho, I hopped back into the game. First thing I did was item dupe. The item dupe in the chest works, so obviously I put a short up of that. I don't do any level or XP glitches, although I feel like if you played it as long as I have, and other people on here who are my age who played this game exactly the same, we're all item duping. I feel like I've earned it, alright? There's nothing new for me to find in this game. That's a lie. I did find some new stuff, and I took video clips of it. This video was actually going to be me talking and then it going away and then showing the gameplay. But that's not how I do these videos. Maybe I'll do the Shivering Isles one like that. So, I've been trying to think of how I can put into words the overwhelming feeling you get, not when you start the game, but when you exit the sewers and the world is essentially yours. You have to go talk to Joffrey. I don't know how Joffrey to find Martin. But aside from that, the world's your oyster, and you can fast travel to any of the towns, or villas, or cities, or whatever you want to call them. The first thing I did was go to Shadenhall, because that's the Dark Brotherhood sanctuary. I mean, it goes away, and then as you finish it, you come back, and that's your sanctuary. I don't think I've ever had a place. This is why, right here. I found it. I found the way to describe it. I mean, this goes for Shadenhall, specifically, I'm speaking, but the game overall. I've never walked into a town in a game and had that feeling of like, I'm home. I'm home. Like, I don't know. I don't really have this luxury. When I moved out when I was a teenager, my parents were already split up. My foster mom moved to Phoenix. My foster dad moved to Jacksonville. You know, they all came up here later, but we don't have the original house we grew up in. So there's no going home for me. Which I imagine people who, you know, whose parents still own their childhood house, you go back in and you get that rush. Like, I get it when I go through my old town. If I can see some of the areas that did some shit, like, that have really great memories from when I was a kid, you get this feeling in your chest. It's a good feeling. It's not a bad feeling, unless it was a crime or something. Sometimes I go, ugh. But that feeling I get, like, whenever I go to my hometown and I see a Walmart that I got arrested at with my friend Ryan. I mean, that's traditionally not a good memory for people, but it was a hilarious memory. I was juvenile. It didn't really affect my life as an adult, except for me telling people. So I went to visit my dad, and we went to that Walmart, and I brought my son in, and I pointed at the part of the floor. I was like, Dad got tackled and beat up by a police officer here, because I tried to beat up a police officer here when I was drunk. But I was telling him, and it's funny, and you get that feeling of, like, nostalgia. The minute I walked into Shadenhall, I got that feeling. And all the other remasters I played that have been great, like Shadow of the Colossus. Silent Hill 2 was a remake, but I'm going to use it for this point. This game might be a remaster. And I know Doom's around the corner, which obviously I'm very excited for. But this is already my game of the year. There's no way I'm going to play anything more this year than I've already played this game. And the simple fact that nostalgia takes you a long way helps. But the fact that they brought the actual game up to match what I felt like the game looked like originally is beyond words. There's a lot of games I would like to have this treatment. I don't want story changes. I don't want, especially in these games, I don't want engine changes at all, except for like, you know, patches or hot fixes they got to do. I don't want any major changes. I don't want to play a Bethesda game and then walk into it and go, wow, this shit's smooth. The combat's amazing. These games won't be that good if they do that. You know what I mean? As much as I don't dislike Call of Duty, but I don't play Call of Duty. But if you had to fucking, you know, gunplay, I'm talking about gunplay, but I mean first person. But I'll use Call of Duty and I'll use Fallout because these are interchangeable. Fallout and Elder Scrolls are interchangeable at this point. As much as I don't play Call of Duty, I used to like them back in the day. But if like Fallout had the gunplay of Call of Duty, you know what I mean? And then the rest of the game was like Fallout, it wouldn't fit. I saw the best description for these games, and I think Oblivion is the epitome of it for me because it's right in between the way too hand-holdy Skyrim and the good luck fucker of Morrowind. Somebody online, I wish I fucking saved their, maybe I screenshotted it, I don't know. It wasn't on this channel, but it was on Instagram. And they said, Elder Scrolls are successful because we love how much they suck. That's true. Objectively, if you took any part of these games and you put them separately in another IP, you would complain about that. Everybody has at least one complaint about every aspect of these games, but we're all aware of it. So what else do you have to complain about? You can play the game. You can beat the game. You can have a bunch of fun. But I've been dashboarded about 50 fucking times in the last 2 weeks. They go off the autosave system that started with Fallout, so it just keeps saving for you and stacks your saves. So there's no more going back and losing characters like I did in Shivering Isles. I don't know. It's very hard to grab my attention these days. Like I said in a previous video, I'm almost 40. I'm old. I'm not old, but I'm getting there. I got 6 people that live in my house. I work. I'm the main source of income. It's difficult. So games barely get my attention nowadays. And that's, you know, it's been like that for like the last 10 years. That's why this channel's been on a downturn. A tailspin. But this game, like I said, it's got 70 hours in, 2 weeks? Just a little over 2 weeks? I shouldn't even have to make this video. You should be able to go look how long I played this and be like, oh, he loves this game. But I do love this game. And I'm going to take the hate part off of here because the Shivering Isles factor doesn't apply anymore. And that's the reason I disliked it so much. And I think aside from Shivering Isles, the one biggest complaint I had, it's kind of been fixed, is that the face models are atrocious. They've been atrocious. They're always atrocious. But for some reason, Oblivion characters looked worse than any other one of their games. And they look goofy now, but I don't know if I like it because they made the goofy charm look better. But the characters in the original Oblivion, once you go back and look at them, if you haven't seen them, are horrifying. The orcs are still terrible looking in here. I like the improvements they made to the Khajiits and the Argonians. They made them look pretty cool, I think. The Argonians look like little walking dinosaurs. And then, you know, I actually look like a cat. I always play a Khajiit first, so I actually look like a cat, which is nice. Just want to be a cat. I don't have anything else to say. I've said everything I want to say. I didn't write anything down. I just was like, I'm going to go talk about Oblivion for 20 minutes. So now I'm trying to round up the 20 minutes. But I really just want to play this. I have to go get kids, and then I'm going to play this tonight. And once I get done with the main quest, I'm going to do Shivering Isles. And then when I do Shivering Isles, then I'll do a completely separate video. Because that deserves its own separate attention because of the negativity it brought to my Oblivion one. But thank you guys for watching. How are you guys enjoying this game? I don't want any negativity. If you're not enjoying it, you're a loser. Get the fuck out of here. Thank you guys for watching.